Good evening. This is CTV News for September 12th. I'm Gina Barty.
And I'm Danielle Irby. Thanks for joining us.
A plane crash on Route 50 this morning is being investigated by the Maryland State Police.
And I was able to get on the scene of the accident just a short while ago. We're standing on Route 450, the bridge overlooking the eastbound and westbound lanes of Route 50, the scene of the accident, which happened this morning around 11:20. Police say that the plane was attempting to make a landing at Freeway Airport, which borders Route 50 on the eastbound side. I'll step out of the scene for a minute. If you look over my shoulder, over the bridge, you can see that emergency vehicles are set up on the eastbound side, where it appears the plane is still on Route 50. Traffic is passing one lane on the eastbound side. On Route 50 on the westbound side, heading into the District of Columbia, of course, it is moving at a snail's pace. Police have cones set up, so for right now, there are two lanes that are passing the scene of the accident.
Two individuals in the automobile that were struck by the plane were transported with minor injuries to a local hospital, and the two folks on the airplane refused transportation at the scene. This could have been a much more tragic story than what it was.
So again, the pilot of the plane has been identified as 58-year-old Julius Tolson of Laurel. His passenger, 57-year-old Michael Gara. The vehicle's driver is 29-year-old Ryan McLean of Washington, D.C., and his passenger, 31-year-old Eric Dispercero of Baltimore, Maryland.
Well, it's always a big deal when the President of the United States visits your town, especially after the leader of the free world called it a rat and rodent-infested mess. So tonight, when Donald Trump makes a stop in Baltimore at a Republican retreat, he'll be greeted by his GOP colleagues in the House and protesters on the street. Byron Scott has our story.
The plan is for protesters to gather at the Columbus statue in that park over there. And if you take a look down here, it is roughly 2 blocks from the Marriott Hotel where the president will be speaking. In this building on the 2000 block of North Charles Street in Baltimore, members of the People's Power Assembly prepare signs for tonight's protest.
Please. Thank you.
President Trump is coming to Baltimore, and they don't like it.
We're going to start gathering at 4. We're going to be there probably till close to 8 o'clock, so people getting off work can still come and protest and really express their anger and outrage at Trump's attempt to divide people, to attempt to foment racism.
It was in July when Trump called Baltimore a rat and rodent-infested mess where no human being would want to live. Organizers say even if Trump hadn't uttered those words, they'd still be hitting the streets.
So, certainly the people in our city have been insulted. But, you're right. We would have been out there anyhow, given all the egregious things that have taken place in this past year.
Trump is at the Marriott Waterfront Hotel in Harbor East for the annual Republican Congressional Retreat.
We felt it's important to come out and oppose the GOP. This is the retreat where they sit and they plan their program of what the kind of things they want to push through Congress.
He don't care enough about this city.
We also decided to ask people at random what they thought about Trump coming to Baltimore.
No, I don't have no respect for him.
You don't think he should be coming here?
Nope.
He want to come to a place that he think is all infested and everything, then that's him. I like my city. I love my city.
And while it isn't likely the president will make policy changes based on what the protesters want, they say they have to speak out.
It sends a signal to them that we don't like the policies that they're trying to push through the country. And it's important to come out and show that we have that right, freedom to assemble and address our grievances. They may not hear it inside the meeting, but believe me, they're keeping an eye on what's happening.
Once again, the plan is to gather at this park just behind me here. They plan to protest from 4 through 8 o'clock. In Baltimore, Byron Scott, CTV News.
As the nation vows to never forget the tragic events of 9/11, Laurel residents last night held a special remembrance vigil. Our Keisha Butts was there for the story.
I just wanted to remember a friend I lost on 9/11.
Martin O'Day is honoring the friend he lost 18 years ago.
As long as we keep their memories in our hearts and in our prayers, they'll live forever.
Her and her husband had delayed their honeymoon until September, They were on the flight from Dulles, first time in first class. They were headed to Hawaii, and the flight was hijacked and crashed into the Pentagon.
He is just one of about 100 people taking part in the city of Laurel's annual candlelight vigil.
We have a special ceremony every 9/11. We remember the people that lost their lives and all of the families that were affected during this time. It's important to remember just because it could happen to any of us.
Residents are remembering the nearly 3,000 victims killed in the September 11th terrorist attacks. Not only are they paying tribute to the victims, but they are also remembering the thousands of first responders who've been diagnosed with cancer.
Not only the firefighters and first responders, but construction workers and a lot of other non-emergent responders are affected by 9/11 disease.
Many are also recalling what they were doing during this horrific incident.
I was actually at Rutgers University in New Jersey, about 45 minutes from New York, and I was on campus getting ready to go to class, but before I went to class I happened to turn on the TV and saw that the towers had been hit, and then found out that the Pentagon had been hit as well. And it was a crazy day because I had a lot of friends and colleagues that had family and parents that were in the tower.
I was at the Prince George's Hospital Center on the 8th floor, so when 9/11 happened, you could look outside the window and see the smoke from the Pentagon, so that was very impactful.
Laurel is vowing to never forget.
Never forget.
In Laurel, Keisha Butts, CTV News.
The event took place at the Laurel Municipal Center's Memorial Garden.